Nation, and we have live from California, sunny California that is, the lovely Charly Arnold.
Hello, gentlemen. Nice and early here, 6 a.m. West Coast time.
Wow.
But it's okay. It's always a pleasure being here. I got my energy. I'm feeling good.
Oh,
Charly got the makeup done. Hair looks good. It's got the
Hey,
teeth
guys,
going.
I set my alarm for 5 o'clock this morning. Of course, that turned into, a couple snooze buttons. So I ended up getting up around like 5:20, but here I am.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. How you doing, Charly? How's the weather out there? How's sunny LA? Is it sunny? Is it bad? What's going on out there?
The weather was gorgeous yesterday. It's like blue skies, those fluffy clouds. It's sunny, and you're like thinking to yourself, wait, why do I live in the Midwest again? What's going on here? I'm confused. But the day before that, they got some much needed rain here. So it was, I didn't mind. It was still warm, but everybody here was freaking out. Everyone didn't know how to use their windshield wipers when they were driving. It was crazy traffic, but it's all good.
Have any of
guys, this could be the last time we have Charly on the show.
No.
Any minute she could, Tom Cruise, somebody out there pick her up, and she'll be all in movies and too big for us. And she's rubbing elbows with the elite.
No, I'm not.
doing interviews with the Black Mamba out there?
Out there on Rodeo Drive, riding around with the Black Mamba in his Ferrari. We ain't mad at you, baby girl.
Oh, my God. Guys, we're having a good time this morning. We're live on YouTube, live on Twitter, as usual. You guys know the deal. Dream, it's been a great week so far, man.
Dude, it has been a fantastic week, and we got to say big ups to the Florida Panthers as they continue to winning ways. It is an 11-game winning streak that they are on now. As you guys know, we talked to Derek McKenzie a couple days ago, and they just continue to roll. And hey, big ups to them. Big ups to you. You plugged the Atlanta Falcons. Oof, not them. The Atlanta Hawks last night. They got it done for you in impressive fashion, up by like 20 plus against the Sixers. And hey, Dallas Stars got it done too, dude. We are just look like we found our move.
The Dallas Stars was a headache, though,
yes,
man.
It was.
Did you see the Winnipeg Jets? I mean, did you watch any of that game?
Winnipeg Jets.
Bro, oh my!
They were banging the boards.
I was like, if that whole game, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I was about to text you, and I just didn't want to jinx it. I was like, this game's bad. This game's real bad right now because I just felt like, they were outshot the whole game. You know what I mean? And they just weren't, at the end of the day, they ended up winning in a shootout in stomachache fashion. But the Dallas Stars get it done, and a bunch of the nation was on it. A bunch of the nation was on the Atlanta Hawks as well. And, hey, we made it work, man. So, on to the week.
Got busy as well. Dude, some days we're dusty, and we like to admit when we're dusty. But then there's some days when we make it happen. And, hey, we made it happen last night.
We made it happen, exactly. So, guys, I'm actually gonna start with Charly on this one, Dream, because I know you probably got to take a minute to, get yourself from not being so animated and upset about this. But Chip Kelly.
Hold on, sorry guys.
Chip.
Sorry, hold on. Oh, great. Okay.
Chip Kelly.
Sorry, it's those like pop-up videos. Can you hear that on there?
No, we're good.
Oh,
we're
okay,
good.
you couldn't hear. Couldn't hear. Okay, good. 'Cause my speakers are blowing up over here.
You gotta love the pop-up ads when they come up. But
Yeah.
Chip Kelly has
Get
interviewed.
off ESPN. Stop trying to ESPN us.
Oh, definitely, man. ESPN is notorious for that. But Chip Kelly has met with the San Francisco 49ers, Charly. So we got to see what's going to go on with that. It looks like he's going to want to coach Colin Kaepernick next year.
I'm about to send Charly right back out to Pennsylvania and handle Chip's business because we don't want Chip in the 49ers spot. Listen, David Shaw is the guy that I really want, the head coach of Stanford. He's been in the talks about coaching the Niners. Dude, I so don't want Chip Kelly.
Really, see, because what I'm aware of is that he's not interested in the job.
Dave's not?
No.
They've mentioned his name a few times, so I don't know. Maybe he has said that he's not interested, but
He said he's not even going to interview with them. Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good, Dream. So you might end up with your boy.
I'd rather have, honestly, as crazy as this may sound, or it might not even sound crazy, I'd rather have the love man.
Well, here's the thing. We'll talk about Shaw for just another second. You guys do remember that he did work as a member of Jim Harbaugh's staff at Stanford, right?
Yes.
So then Harbaugh, you remember what happened to him with the 49ers last year, pushed out the door. He's now with Michigan. So, that probably doesn't rest well with Shaw, seeing one of his close friends.
But I don't know that Harbaugh was pushed out the door because of his coaching. I think Harbaugh might have been pushed out the door. We never really got a real definitive reason as to why Harbaugh was let go. That atmosphere has still been a serious mystery, and we've never really gotten to the bottom of that. That whole divorce that they had, players all retiring, kind of while they're still, able to play football and leaving the team, and all the moves, and then him letting go. That all was just a really bizarre situation. Do you know anything about that more than we do?
I don't know any more about it, but
you don't see it happen like that, very often in professional football or any sport.
Yeah, I don't have any more information that I can give you a more clear look at what exactly transpired, but I just know that I think that his exit with the 49ers, whatever the case may have been, isn't sitting that well with David Shaw. Maybe one of the reasons why he's not interested in interviewing for the head coaching position.
Come on, Dave, man. Don't blame that on, because Harbaugh, listen, I don't think it takes anybody to understand that Harbaugh is a little bit of a different personality than the norm.
Yeah.
So I think David should keep that, obviously keep that in mind. But, I really don't want Chip Kelly there. It's really going to strain my relationship as a fan of the San Francisco 49ers. To have Chip Kelly there is really going to bother me.
Well, it's bad enough you got Kaepernick to deal with.
And it's bad enough that I got Kaepernick, exactly.
With all the mega bucks that he got. So, hey, it is what it is, and we'll see what happened. So, Charlie, the Lovie Smith thing, we talked about it yesterday. We went back and forth a little bit on it. What's your thoughts on him getting fired from the Tampa Bay Bucks?
Well, it all came down to the fact that, from what I know, is that his defensive coaches, he wasn't willing to change. He liked the way things were sitting on the defensive end of the ball. And that didn't sit well with the GM and the owner because they saw some issues there. And I guess Lovie wasn't really willing to make the changes that the front office wanted them to make. However, not all coaches are good at choosing their assistant coaches, and that we've seen that in many different cases, such as John Fox. It's just something that some coaches do not excel at. So I don't think that was a good enough reason to fire him. I think there should have been more of a conversation about it, maybe even force him to do or make those moves that the front office wanted him to make. But I do know that the way it went down was really messed up. It was over the phone, which...
Really?
Yeah, over the phone. It wasn't even a face-to-face conversation.
Was it like the Skype thing that we're doing?
Yeah, it was exactly like this. It was done on SBTV podcast, actually, yeah.
No, it wasn't done on our podcast because we would have had it live for y'all. First thing this morning, I've been like, yo, go to the video hack. Listen.
So, yeah, it was over the phone. That's not cool. No one wants to lose their job over the phone. Secondly, it's the second head coaching position he's lost in the past couple of years. So that's, obviously something that is upsetting to him as well. But I think that there is did you see the reaction from everybody? Everybody was like, what? No one really understands it because there's some positions, Chip Kelly, let's take, for example, people are like, all right, bye,
enough
see
is
ya,
enough.
we get it. Lovie Smith, I don't know. He worked really well, in my opinion, with Jameis Winston. He transformed him from one type of player at the beginning of the season to a different type at the end of the season, and I know that the quarterbacks coach is involved with that, but I also think the head coach plays a big role in that. But speaking of that, Dirk Cutter, he is now a strong candidate for that head coaching position. He has no head coaching experience, but he has done a lot of good for Winston as well. So we could be seeing him, a guy with no head coaching experience, moving up in the ranks in the Bucs organization, taking over that job.
And that is what I heard, listening to a lot of sports radio yesterday. I heard that supposedly the root of the firing had to do with that they were going to lose Cutter, and they wanted to move him up, wanted to give him the head coaching position, but he was going to be highly sought after by other teams, and they felt like they were going to lose him. I'm still real salty. there's been some talk from Tampa Bay fans. They don't really like the Glazers as far as the ownership is concerned. And the over the phone thing, this probably sounds like makes no sense to anybody else other than me, but you know what? Fire me over the phone, because I don't really want to look at you face to face with you fire me, because it's going to make me want to, reach across the table and ask you, what are you doing?
I agree with you. I think, the phone, it takes away that element of...
The element of me, I'm going to him.
And you can react as you want to without worrying about anyone seeing you. But there also is, I think, just the issue of respect. And someone saying, you know what? We really appreciate what you've done for us. We're going a separate direction, but shake your hand and say thank you so much for all you've done. I think it's a cop-out to do it over the phone, and it's just a cowardly way of going about such a big decision.
All right, what I think you to do, give me a call over the phone. Say, listen, we would like to meet with you. We want to talk with you, but, I want to kind of prepare you that, we're considering going in another direction. So at least I'm somewhat prepared for the brunt. You know what I mean? As opposed to, don't let me come in that office thinking, that I'm all set. Come driving in the grand Ferrari that I bought. You know what I'm saying?
Brand new house.
Me up with some.
You know what? Though Lovey can still sleep at night because he is still being paid for the next 3 years. So it's. He's going to go after other positions, and we all know that. Whether or not he will be able to find another head coaching position is a definite question, because he's already lost his job from 2 organizations as the head coach, but he is still getting paid for the next 3 years. So if he can't find anything, he just wants to go vacation with his wife, by all means, you've got the money to do it. So he doesn't have to stress.
The other thing about Lovey is I think Lovey's better suited as a defensive coordinator than maybe a head coach, and that was my thoughts. I mean, I like to see him in a head coaching position. But I think maybe, and a lot of these guys, sometimes guys in the head coaching positions, they're just better coordinators than they are head coaches. And I'd like to see Lovey go somewhere where he has a great opportunity of winning, which I don't know exactly where that would be, but, go land somewhere where there's a big opportunity to win. There's an upside. You got a team probably with a 3 to 4 year shelf life with, a solid quarterback in place. Maybe go to, I know it's awful because of the weather, but, maybe go to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers, he's still got, a lot of years in front of him. Even Indianapolis, maybe with luck, you could go defense. God, Lord knows they could use anything, any type of help on defense. Even if Lovey wants to throw on some pads and jump into defense, the Colts could use him there. But go somewhere where you got, those 3 to 4 good years where you could just kind of have some fun.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. Hey, Dream, I got a question for you. What's your schedule today?
My schedule today is fairly open.
All right. Could you come to the office? Because we're kind of thinking about going in a different direction, and I just want to have a quick conversation with you about it.
Oh, yeah, I'll show up at the office with sharp than my lawyers and a belt and my homie the clown bat.
Oh, my God, guys. We're having a good time this morning, man. Just talking a little NFL. And, hey, we're on the break of the NFL playoffs and very excited about it. And, Charly, you got to be excited about the NFL playoffs starting tomorrow as well. I know, although they're going to be, bright and early in the morning, so you're probably going to have bacon and eggs or whatever you're eating watching football tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll right out of bed, pour myself a mimosa, scrambled eggs going.
Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Mimosas are insane. I love those.
I do like mimosas, but Bloody Marys are more of mine.
There you go.
My thing.
I haven't had any alcohol since the weekend, so I'm trying to do the whole diet thing, and so far so good. I just feel like I got hit by a truck being, in the gym all week and doing basketball, and I was swinging the ropes yesterday. You guys ever do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
that's good.
Wow. Unbelievable. So just never play basketball when you do shoulder day, because you can't shoot afterwards. It's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Since King Griffey Jr. got inducted into the Hall of Fame, and also Mike Piazza, just really quick, like to hear your thoughts maybe on that.
What was it?
Ken Griffey Jr. getting inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame along with Mike Piazza?
Well, Ken Griffey Jr. is the legend. Of course he should get inducted. I mean, that's, I think, a no-brainer, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I think so. You know, the only issue that I had with Ken Griffey Jr., and I heard somebody, you know, as I listen to a lot of radio because I have to drive everywhere. Yesterday I was all over the place, still doing some returns from Christmas, which I hate. But, you know, Ken Griffey Jr. got like a 99, like 495 vote, which is like, I mean, it was like one of the highest votes ever. For any particular individual. And, you know, somebody made the comment that, you know, well, he didn't necessarily play that great in the off season, in the postseason, and you know, the team didn't win a World Series, and you know, I'm not taking anything from him before everybody starts, but and I do want to have this talk with Dr. Dan tomorrow because he's more of our baseball expert, but I kind of somewhat agree with that based on the vote. Griffey got a vote like, let's say, a Sandy Koufax or a Reggie Jackson or like a really great baseball player would get. Yet while I think that Griffey was a great player, don't get me wrong, and he should have got a lot of votes, I just don't know if I I don't know if I could put him on the Reggie Jackson level. I don't. That's my opinion. I just would like to hear maybe Pat, you know, Charlie, what are your thoughts?
You know, at the end of the day, I think that, you know, we really need to have this conversation with the evil genius tomorrow.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, I mean, when you think of those elite names that you're referring to and alluding to and all that, you know, you just got to look at who's available right now as far as, you know, the next people up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So that's what's influencing their decision here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I mean, when you look at the body of work of, you know, all of the people that are, you know, in the running to make the Hall of Fame, obviously, you know, Junior makes the top.
And I gotta tell you guys, you know, and I know this is gonna be controversial, but I'm gonna say it still because that's how I get down.
That's how you get
all
down.
Barry Bonds, I don't care what no one says. You could show me a picture of him putting a needle in his behind, deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. First time Barry Bonds is a Hall of Famer. He was a Hall of Famer before the steroids, and he was a super Hall of Famer after the steroids. He belongs in the Hall of Fame.
I think we can have a conversation about that, man. That's a little controversial, and hey, you know, I mean, a lot of these players with the PEDs. I know Roger Clemens was going back and forth with somebody yesterday about it on Twitter. I was one of the other athletes or whatever, but you know, kind of throwing digs at each other back and forth, man.
I don't know if you know pre-Bonds before the steroids. He was incredible before he was linked to PEDs.
Got it.
Stealing bases, home runs, the whole. I mean, Bonds. If you look at Bonds' beginning of, listen, Bonds was off the chain.
Yeah, but then you're telling people that it's all right to do, you know, to cheat. At the end of the day, Dream, that's what it ends up being.
There's guys in the Hall of Fame right now that I can guarantee you somebody's in there right now that has used PEDs.
Okay.
I agree with you, but I if they did, it wasn't a huge scandal and it wasn't a huge topic of news because it's one of those things, what you don't know doesn't hurt you.
Good point.
Unfortunately, type of ordeals. Whereas when you know about it and you still advocate for this person and say, oh yeah, but he's still this and that, then that's where you get into that.
Understood.
Yeah.
Totally
But
understood.
they have talked
That's a
about it,
situation.
and they said that at some point, somebody who's in there on their deathbed or at the end of their, you know, whatever, will write a book and they're going to say how they got in. And also, baseball for the Hall of Fame, you're going to miss an era of really great baseball players and athletes that you're going to lose out of the Hall of Fame. Like the Hall of Fame is going to like shut down at around, I don't know a year, but I'll say, you know, like this whole era that we just went through in our lives, where all our guys or all the people that we know as great athletes will be missing. With no Mark McGwire, no Sammy Sosa, Rafael Palmeiro, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds, A-Rod. These are great athletes. They're all going to be missing from the Hall of Fame. You know, and when my kids, you know, get older and we talk to me and I'll be like, yeah, he's a good player, but he's not like Bonds. And they're going to say, well, who's that? You know what I mean? And I just think that I think baseball's doing it itself an injustice. I don't know if you give them an asterisk. Some people have talked about that and put them in, but you're just going to miss an era of talent and great athletes if you exclude these guys from the Hall of Fame. And that's pretty much all I got on that.
All right, gotcha. So, yeah, looking at this as far as the NBA last night, guys, the Atlanta Hawks started out, Dream, down 6 points. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, there's no way this game is good. Is this game really going to be a headache for me? Are they really going to go into Philadelphia and lose? Considering the fact that Philadelphia has been 500 like the last 6 games. They won 3 out of 6, but they ended up going on a 17-0 run and laying the smackdown on the Philadelphia 76ers. Atlanta Hawks scored 126 points. Charlie, what's your thoughts on this Hawks team? I mean, they're up and down a little bit. I can't quite put my finger on who they are.
Yeah, I think the Hawks are always, they always have a lot of options, which I think serves them really well. Even when one guy's not playing up to his game one night, they still have a lot of other people they can fall back on and they can rely on. So I think that serves them really well. Doesn't hurt that they were playing the 76ers last night, who, as we all know.
Yes, I saw that. I was licking my chops as soon as I saw that matchup yesterday morning. I was like, oh, but I don't know. Barkley.
Well, they scored 39 second quarter points, the Hawks did, so they went into halftime with all of that momentum and just kept going for them. When you have a second quarter like that and you are able to come back, they were down and then they scored 39 points in the second quarter, giving them a big lead to go into the next portion of the game. So
exactly.
That was important for them.
It ended up working out for me after all, and the dream. This game was actually pretty good. The Boston Celtics versus the Chicago Bulls, and did you get a good look at the Bulls last night?
I got a good look at the Bulls last night.
Not bad.
Defensively, still need a little bit of work.
Okay.
But offensively, man, they have been, and I saw this at the beginning of the season as well, but they are starting to gel. They are starting to be, they're definitely putting it together. The chemistry is starting to get there. But I got to be honest with you. I heard some talk yesterday about the Cleveland Cavaliers and, with Kyrie Irving coming back. Cleveland's still the team to beat in the East. Yeah, not that I was saying that they weren't, and not that you said that, but I think Cleveland's still the team to beat in the East.
I wonder if all these guys, because Barkley was on there. Barkley's very opinionated.
Yes.
And it was actually funny watching him and Shaq go back and forth. Like he told Shaq something, and Shaq's like showed him a ring. He's like, "Yeah, don't you wish you had one of these?" And he's like, "Well, you know what? If I had, to ride Kobe's coattails, it'd be fine." You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
So they were kind of going back.
Get down there and get Kobe on our show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're on the clock right now. You better be calling everybody.
I'm gonna call him right now. Actually, everything's on speed dial.
Get the Black Mamba on for an
interview. Get the Black Mamba on the show.
But anyway, so they were going back and forth, and Barkley was clearly saying that he's like, the Bulls will never beat the Cavs. They're the second best team in the East. So, I wonder if the Bulls sit there and actually stew about what this guy says.
The Bulls will not. This Bulls team will not beat the Cavs. Now, the Bulls team that Jordan played for would destroy the Cavs, but this Bulls team, that I don't believe that they will beat the Cavs either. Charlie, what's your thoughts?
I think that the Bulls, like you said, defensively, they're still struggling a little bit, but offensively, they are excuse me, they are excelling. Last night, all 5 starters were in double digits. This is their 9th straight game where they've scored at least 100 points, 6 consecutive wins. So they are on to something. But as far as beating the Cavs,
tough.
Oh, I don't know. The Cavs do have some off nights. We've seen them have some nights where they just haven't really looked like themselves. But on a night when they are doing exactly what it is they've practiced and they know works for them, I don't really see the Bulls winning either.
Yeah, that's why.
And a lot of people are so wrapped up into Steph Curry that they tend to forget that Kyrie Irving was Steph Curry.
Okay. What do you mean?
You know what I'm saying? Kyrie Irving, when he first came into the league, was stupid, dude. To say what Hockey Immortal said, he was filthy. Which Hockey Immortal, I may be stealing that word from you and adding it to my vocabulary because I really like the way you used it. Kyrie Irving was really an outstanding, ridiculous player. First coming into league, off the hook. One of the best point guards in the game at that time. Talked about in the top 10. Okay, relax. But and people forget that. And I think Kyrie right now is probably going to want to remind everybody of that.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see what goes down with the Cleveland Cavs are like they're minus like 280 to win the East. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, listen, and listen to me good because, I do futures more than anybody else in the world. Listen, well, no, I don't want to say that, but anybody that I know anyway. But
you got it.
You cannot take the Cleveland Cavs right now at a minus 280 to win the East, and I'm going to tell you why. Number one, it's going to be the same exact odds come playoff time. Number two is that if you do that now, and God forbid LeBron breaks his leg, or, Love goes out, or Kyrie goes out, or something like that, you're in big trouble. You're laying 280. I mean, I know that's more of your odd stream, but, at the end of the day, you can't do that right now. Maybe once.
Number three.
Yes.
The NFL wildcard playoffs is this weekend.
Yes.
The AFC divisions next weekend. Please don't tie up. If you want, go put your money in a CD. Stop tying it up for that long time period.
Very, very,
you're not
very
getting
good
paid
point.
to the end of June.
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. So let's, speaking of the NFL playoffs, Charlie, let's have a conversation about them because you know what? That's what everybody is talking about right now. Everybody's excited. The AFC playoffs are tomorrow, and the NFC are on Sunday. What's your thoughts on these matchups that are coming up here? Got a couple of big ones in the AFC tomorrow.
Yeah, what do you want to start with? Let's see, the earlier game.
J.J. Wizzle.
Yeah. J.J. Watt.
Love him.
Yeah.
I actually watched the E60 on him last night on ESPN.
Okay.
He's I'm sorry, I know, Dream, you're not a huge fan of him, but when I watch this, it just solidified my very high opinion of him. He is just such a hard worker, and he is one of those people who doesn't believe in being good. He believes in being great. Yep. And that's something he strives for each and every day. And it was just so apparent in this mini documentary. And I'm just saying, I love JJ Watt. I'm just saying.
All right.
But that does not mean that I think the Texans will win tomorrow.
Okay.
But I do like JJ Watt. I think the Chiefs, 10 straight games they've won.
Yep.
I like the Chiefs odds tomorrow. I think that playing in Houston will not make a difference on their performance. I think Houston's, we hear about places that are really difficult to play, where the home team definitely has the advantage, and I do believe in home field advantage as a whole. But I don't think that Houston is one of those places where the Chiefs are going to enter and think, oh my God, Lambeau Field, for example, a place similar to that. So
sure.
I like the Chiefs. I like their moves on both sides of the ball. I think the Texans really are strong defensively, offensively. I don't even know who the starting quarterback is tomorrow. Do you guys?
You're going to have Hoyer.
Okay.
Yep.
So great. I mean, Hoyer has had some success with the team this year, but he hasn't even played consistently these past few weeks, so it's almost like you don't know what even to expect. When you keep bouncing around from quarterback to quarterback, there's always going to be a little bit of inconsistency, you would think.
Got it. All right. So
I like to always stir the hornet's nest.
Okay.
And I, from time to time, like to have some type of racial backing in my
Of course you do.
But I just would like to say that, I noticed that whenever there's an athlete, so to say, Porzingis, J.J. Watt, white America tends to embrace an athlete. And I got to ask, I just want to just say this. If J.J. Watt was, let's say, African American, do you think he would still get all of the accolades that he gets?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
Because, let's look at some of the other elite players right now. Let's just look at the guy who's in the spotlight. I know you're a hater, but Cam Newton. America loves.
No, but Cam's a quarterback. No.
Fine.
Because we don't really usually
You're talking about like the
accolades to defensive players like we give accolades to, the quarterback or the running backs. I got no problem like that. My problem is, like, J.J. Watt in the position that he plays, do you think he's the best player at that position in the game right now?
Well, he's a defensive end.
Right? Do you think he's the best defensive end in the game right now?
He's definitely one of the best.
I said what other defensive end is talked about as much as him?
Wow. Let me think about that for a minute. Nobody's putting up his numbers, though, Dream. Who's putting up his numbers? Just look at the numbers.
He has 19 and a half sacks this season.
Okay. I'm just trying to think. I off the top of my brain on the defensive end position. That's a really good question for the nation, actually, guys. Who is his defensive end is getting more accolades than J.J. Watt right now?
No, wait, stop. No one's getting more accolades than J.J. Watt, okay?
Okay, but here's a reason, J.J. Watt, here's a reason why he is so great, and I think he is getting so much attention. You look at the Texans as a whole.
Yep.
What do they really bring to the game? They're not really bringing that much. Look at. I mean, there's no reason to really talk about the Texans besides J.J. Watt. I don't want to. Let me be careful when I say that. I'm not saying they don't have other talented players, but I am saying that J.J. Watt does help determine the outcome of a game.
Yes. Yeah, and
single-handedly.
And he's on both sides of the ball at times. I don't know many players in the NFL, Dream, that. How many players in the NFL right now play both sides of the ball? Not many.
They throw. Come on, dude. They throw him in that one place. I mean, fall back with that.
Fall back.
And when I was watching this thing last night on J.J. Watt, and he was selected 11th overall in the draft, and Texans fans were booing him. He was not received well in Houston. No one thought they should have chosen him. They were like, who is this guy? Why would you choose this guy? And then he said, when he made his press conference, he said, look, I know people have been booing me, and that's fine because I always appreciate being the person who has to prove themselves, and I will prove myself. And now he is so well. I mean, he's just loved in Houston. Yeah. So you have to look at that. It's not like he just walked in and people were like, oh, J.J. Watt, what's up, dude? Like, you're the man. I mean, he did have to work his butt off.
Good points. I just struggle, not unfortunately, but I grew up in an era and I was able to see Lawrence Taylor play football. And anybody who's seen Lawrence Taylor play football will probably, attest to what I'm about to say. I mean, when you talk about a guy that just took over a game single-handedly, that's the type of talent that Lawrence Taylor was. And obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. But there's been a lot of speculation, I should say, or people have been, equating J.J. Watt to Lawrence Taylor, and I just feel like it's just a tad bit too early for that.
Well,
my opinion.
And you got all these, great photos out there with J.J. Watt with the blood, running down his nose and stuff like that. I mean, it's a good story, Dream. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not saying it's not a good story. I'm just saying that, J.J. Watt, and we saw, like Clay Matthews, it's like the minute y'all get a little guy, it's like they get so much
Keep
more.
Keep the black man down. Keep the black man down.
Y'all so tired of seeing the black man dominate sports.
This at all has there's nothing racial about sports for me. I mean, I look at every player.
No, I know. Some of this is a little bit of fun too, Charlie. Don't take it personal. I'm having a little bit of fun with it as well. And all of you guys out there listening, I'm having some fun with it.
Oh, the Dream's having a ball with that, man. Him and I go back and forth with this, Charlie, like 100 times. We love it. We absolutely love it.
Just gotta let him do his thing.
Absolutely.
So just like Porzingis, by next year, Porzingis will be the next, Michael Jordan.
G-Rose said you sound like Money Mayweather right now.
Y'all hate money. Still dying for a white heavyweight champion.
Well, we're still waiting on that, exactly.
I know.
So Charlie, you're feeling the Kansas City Chiefs to go into Houston and get the job done, and a lot of people are right there with you on that one.
Absolutely.
The next one is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati this week. It's a 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time start, and that is tomorrow night. And Pittsburgh is -3 with an under/over of 45.5. As far as to win the game or anything to look for, we're not going to put you on the spot as far as, to win the game or whatever. But if you want to say who you like.
Well, I mean, I do believe the Steelers are going to come out victorious in that game. I think that Ben Roethlisberger, although a couple weeks ago we watched him have a really bad game against the Ravens. I mean, he is one of the best quarterbacks in the game still to this day. And when he's dominant, he runs all over you, and I think right now the Steelers are one of the most dangerous teams in the league, and I think that everyone who will potentially face them, who's in their playoff path, is scared. I think that they are a force to be reckoned with. I know D'Angelo Williams is likely going to be out because of a foot injury, but I still think Roethlisberger has a lot of weapons, a lot of really strong receivers on that team, and Roethlisberger himself, has showed us that he can run the ball a little bit himself too. Not as fast as some other quarterbacks, but he's strong.
All right.
So Charly, there has been some talk about weather being a situation in that game, as they are predicting some type of rain, which I think if there is an impactful rain situation, that it will definitely affect the Pittsburgh Steelers probably a little bit more than it would affect the Cincinnati Bengals. We also have to bring to note A.J. McCarron, the rookie, starting in the in the AFC wildcard game, playoff situation. What do you think about him, getting the helm and getting start this weekend?
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at it. A.J. McCarron, this is his first postseason start of his career.
Right.
So there are going to be maybe some nerves that come with that. Maybe there won't be. He has played pretty consistently, but I think had the Bengals had Dalton in by this point, they would be in a slightly better place, although we have seen Dalton be unable to win a single postseason game so far. So maybe he's the reason the Bengals haven't made any moves in the postseason so far. I don't know, but I do think that overall, I like Cincinnati's defense a lot.
Okay.
But I think that the Steelers are just very powerful. They're very dangerous, and I do see them coming out on top tomorrow.
All right. So far you're on Kansas City and Pittsburgh. Moving over to Sunday, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Minnesota Vikings, and this game is going to be like 0 degrees. Actually, 3 degrees to be exact. That's what they're calling for. What's your thoughts on Seattle coming into Minnesota?
Well, first of all, I'm just going to say that I'm really glad I'm not going to be in Minnesota for that game.
Yeah, right.
Well, we were going to fly you out.
Happy.
We wanted to fly you out to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so you could get like a sideline interview from us.
It's going to be, they said that's going to be one of the coldest games in NFL playoff history. I don't even want, they're giving out, I think because for fan safety, they're going to give out like free hand warmers and scarves and all that kind of stuff, because that's dangerously cold, really, it is. So I don't even want to think about that. I'm nice and warm in the house right now. But I don't know, this is going to be a tough game because the Vikings, I think, are on a bit of a roll, but so are the Seahawks. And the only real comparison that we have from the season to look back on is that Week 13 matchup between the Seahawks and the Vikings, where the Seahawks had their largest margin of victory against that team. So a lot of people, I think, are still going for the Seahawks just when we saw the two teams up against each other earlier in the season. I think if I just have to look at what's gone on recently, I think the Seahawks are the better team right now.
Okay.
I think they're on to something, and Marshawn Lynch is coming back this week, and he's just going to be one more option, for the quarterback to turn to. So I don't know. I'm going with the Seahawks, and Dream, I know you're excited about that.
Yeah,
I am very. Also, there is a little bit of question as far as the health of Adrian Peterson, who got a little banged up last week, and he's talking about some back issues. So keep that in mind also as one of the other dynamics that may come into play in this particular match.
I think they said that he hasn't practiced at all this week with that low back injury, but the Vikings coach said this is the playoffs. He's good to go.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he's going to be out there. But, obviously, if you're,
you take one hard hit, you never know. That could be the game for him.
Right.
So.
Very good point. Very good point. And probably the hardest game on the board to figure out is the last one of the week, and that is the Green Bay Packers versus the Washington Redskins. And you're looking at a pick.
I got to ask you. I got to cut him off of this. Tell me you're going to take Kissing Cousins over Aaron Rodgers. Tell me you like Kissing Cousins to win.
I don't really like the way the Green Bay Packers look at this very moment.
Oh, here we go, Dream. Yeah, we had a female guest on yesterday, Charlie. She was all over kissing cousins. So,
all right, talk to me. Let me hear. I want to hear this.
We're waiting. Drum roll.
This is tough, and I haven't really done too much research into this game so far, so I'm just speculating.
Okay.
But,
you don't have to pick a side.
Yeah,
you don't have to pick a side.
Right.
We're not putting you on the spot.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, you just think about it. It's one of those games where you think that you just assume that the Green Bay Packers, the more seasoned team, the team used to being in this position, they're going to come out on top. But this is one of those games that I could just see being a crazy, this is just one of those games, the perfect storm for something crazy to happen.
See, my whole thing is, okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to go get, a time capsule. And I want you to put the Washington Redskins in their roster and the Green Bay Packers in their roster. Put it in a time capsule, close it up, put it in the ground, bury it. 10 years from now, go dig it up and pull it out and say, I took the Redskins? What was wrong with me?
I know. It's tough.
As Aaron Rodgers is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, that is very true.
I totally agree. And Charlie, don't feel bad because you know what? 99% of the country feels the same way.
Yeah.
They're just sitting there, kind of reaching for a coin in their pocket to flip it and pick a side here because this is a tough one. That's why the game is a pick 'em. But I can tell you that the Washington Redskins are 6-2 at home. They play pretty well at home. So, it's something to take a look at.
Redskins play pretty well at home. The only thing that keeps me not falling for the Jedi mind trick in this particular event is I still can see the Dallas Cowboy Washington Redskin game like it was yesterday.
Sure.
And I remember how horrible I thought the Redskins played in that game. Don't get me wrong. I know that Green Bay, they lost to Chicago, but that's Cuddles, okay?
Yeah.
Dallas came in there with, Castle.
Yeah.
All right. So, I'm sorry. I guess I just got to go down. I got to go down with the Hall of Fame quarterback, me personally, just to give you guys a little preview, but I have way more for you come Sunday. But I think I'm going to go down with the Hall of Fame quarterback in this situation because I just don't feel comfortable with the Redskins.
All right. So
I just have a quick question. I have no intention of putting any money on the game, but who is Vegas picking to win this game?
It's a pick. It's
it is? Okay, so there's... You can explain what that means to me. I'm not really...
Vegas absolutely loves this situation because the point spread is designed essentially, of course, this is going to be controversial after I say it, but it's designed to keep the money on both sides. Vegas would like a 50-50 split, and they get paid in the middle, which is exactly what, what they're in business for and how they've made their millions. So this game is perfect for them. They have it split down the middle, and they have it as a pick 'em, which means they don't know who's going to win either, so they don't see any team being better than the other.
Yeah, so it's you just pick Redskins or Green Bay, and whoever wins, you win your money.
Absolutely. So I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to paint the picture for everybody, all you gamblers out there, or everybody that's just a typical sports fan. Everybody and their mother is all over all the favorites. And 9 times out of 10...
Don't say it.
9 times out of 10, Dream.
Don't say it.
There's a dog that's going to sneak everybody. And
I think we need to go research that in prior years.
Go hit up Sugar Shane. I'm sure he has that information for us.
I think we do need to research. We need to research the playoff atmosphere of the NFL in past years as far as dogs and favorites winning.
Yeah, because and I have not seen a situation on Wild Card Weekend when all the away teams are favored. Well, 3 out of 4.
And I have not seen. And the other thing that we haven't seen is the point spreads are so low.
Yeah.
Generally we don't really, that Wild Card Weekend. There's usually that one team that's usually, giving like 10 points, and we don't have that situation this year. And that is another interesting dynamic. So. Hey, this weekend is a pretty tough weekend, but I gotta let y'all know, the SBTV crew is here for you.
Yes, absolutely. Well, just think about what you guys are saying. I want you to really think about this in perspective. Just think of just eliminate the teams out of your brain for a minute. You're saying that every team is going to go on the road and win this week. No home teams are going to win. Think about that at the end of the day. That's all I got to say about that, guys. When you're, not trying to second guess everybody, but at the end of the day, you got to just look at history, and we'll take a look at those numbers and see how it materializes, guys.
Definitely.
You're saying that no home team is going to win in the NFL playoffs. There's no home field advantage this year. None. Zero. Just saying. And I got to be honest with you. I'm looking at it, and I'm not necessarily saying I would get involved with this one or mess with it, but I'm looking at Charly, your boy J.J. Watt, to possibly be the sneak effect. That's the first game on the ticket. Yeah.
Oh, and they will not shut up about J.J. Watt. If he wins Saturday, you can forget it. I may not be able to get on the air on Monday. Charly may take over the complete show, fly her out to Houston, and sit side by side with J.J.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I might. You're right.
Yeah, so that might be the one.
I might do that.
And we do have Houston connections. It's my man Charly from Direct Sports Solutions, and we got KCOH as we're on with Ralph Cooper. We could probably make that happen for you in Houston.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, we could definitely make that happen. Absolutely. So, you guys all set with the NFL? You want to move over to the NBA?
Yes, sir, because we have the Indiana Pacers playing the Pelicans tonight, Charly.
Oh.
There we go. And let's take a look at that particular game. Yeah, you got Indiana coming into the New Orleans Pelicans at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Indiana is -2. Pretty much, close.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really have much of a line.
I really want to see the Pacers blow the doors off the Pelicans on the road. -2. I mean, you guys have turned me on to this Pacer team. If for me to get on board with this train, all right, for me to get on board, they need to go do work to the Pelicans tonight.
I think that the Pacers are the better team here.
Okay.
I went to high school actually with Eric Gordon, so he's my boy. But that aside, friendships aside, I do like the Pacers better. And I think despite being on the road, I don't really see this being, like you said, I don't personally see this being too much of a contest. I think there's no reason why the Pacers shouldn't be able to win by a larger margin.
Wow.
If I think what the Pacers is, sorry, I'll give it to you 1 second, but Charly, I'm going to defer to you with this. I just think that their defense, I'm not even talking about their offense or Paul George. I'm just thinking that their defense, from what I've seen out of them defensively, which, I still skip with a grain of salt, but against this Pelican team that makes a myriad of mistakes. All right, I feel like the the Indy Pacers, their defense should be able to take over this game. I see a low scoring, kind of game because they won't allow the Pelicans to do a lot. I don't see the Pelicans having a lot of success in the paint. I just want to see the Pacers defensively take over this game.
Yeah, I think they can. I think the Pelicans right now especially are struggling a little bit, losing, I think, 3 of their last 4 games. And we've just seen them battle injuries all season long, so they're not where they would want to be at this point in the season. What's their record? 11 and 20 something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, on the
So I think the Pacers better offensively, better defensively. I think we can expect them to win by more than 2 points. I would think, right?
All right. Hey, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's not really a big. Yeah. Hey, you know what?
We're not putting you on the gun with that. We just expect to see a dominant performance out of the Pacers. We don't expect them, to come in lackadaisical and not really wanting to play tonight. We got the holidays over with. The wives got the bags, from the bag man, and now we're ready to see them play. Even though, you were not in the hometown helping them out.
I'm glad you remember the bag man.
I'll never forget the bag, because that's one of my favorite. Like, I know you can never go wrong with a pocketbook.
No, absolutely.
My dad once told me, he said, 2 things that always make a woman feel better: purses and shoes.
Purses and shoes.
And I was like, Dad, when did you get so smart? Seriously, when did you get this smart? I have no idea. But I thought well.
You know what's the best? You know what shoes women love the most are the ones they can't walk in.
Oh, of course. Yeah, the ones where we break our ankle and any yeah.
Those are the ones I love the most too.
Yeah. Exactly.
A pair of Christian Lubans, like stupid high with the red bottom, baby.
Exactly. So looking at this, and my boy Matty Fresh just hit me up with some information, guys. Not to go back to this, but I have to. He's saying that in the NFL, favorites are 52-28 straight up and 42-36-2 against the spread in wild card games over the past 20 years. So the favorites are winning about, I'd say, if you look at that, about 66% of the time.
No wonder my wild card weekend is always so dope.
Yeah, okay. Yes, exactly. Home teams on wild card weekend with a 52-28 straight up and 47-31-2 against the spread in the last 20 years. You know what that means? There's going to be one upset.
No, but that is based on, because usually, all right, your home team, I mean, like usually, Seattle would have been a home team.
Yeah, I got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even had Green Bay won, last Sunday, they would have been a home team. So usually the dominant team is home. But I think in this situation, which is very unique, this year is very unique in this aspect, I don't believe that the dominant teams are home, except for the situation of J.J. Watt and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, got it. All right, sounds good. All right, so taking a look at the NBA, going back to that guy. Sorry, but I had to, my boy sent me that information. I had to go back to the NFL real quick. We might see a little beatdown tonight, Dream. Looking at the New York Knickerbockers going into the San Antonio Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs have won, I want to say, 30 consecutive games dating back to last year at home. This team, Charlie, I've been talking about them, and everybody's talking Golden State. I'm talking San Antonio Spurs. Best offensively, best defensively, best coach in the NBA, by far. I mean, when you look at the landscape of the rest of the coaches, you got Popovich, definitely a Hall of Fame coach. I think that this team is most likely, especially when they're at home, is the team to beat in the West. But
I think they have. I mean, you look at the Warriors and the Spurs; they have very different styles of play.
Sure.
One's Warriors rely on small ball method, whereas the Spurs are playing that hard-nosed basketball. It's a totally different game, and they both are proven to have a lot of success with their respective types of play, but. It's hard to say who the better team is because they're so different.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I just can picture Kawhi Leonard all over Steph Curry, because Kawhi Leonard shut down LeBron James. And I could picture him, if they put him on Steph Curry's going to have a hard time shooting that three. You pull him out.
Yeah, Steph Curry's got that crossover,
Yeah, breaking your ankles a little bit. I get it. I totally get it. But, I'm
Charlie's
just saying.
up on her NBA, man. Baby girl, I love you talking NBA. You sound great with it.
I know.
You are so dead right with your NBA synopsis. So, hey, good hats off to you. Obviously, we have you here for a reason, and definitely NBA is where you live.
Yeah, no doubt. So I'm just taking a look at this game.
But
and
I got to be honest with you.
Yes.
I don't like this game tonight. It's one of those too easy ones for me. And the Knicks, they're on fire right now.
They are.
You tend to not, when there's a fire, you don't go running in the building. You usually, you'll fall back a little bit. So I don't love this. I mean, you may love it. I don't love it. I'm sure the Spurs got to be double digits. What do you got for Vegas?
Oh, 2 touchdowns, man. 14.5.
Yeah, I got to be. Listen, I'm not saying to take the Knicks.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Dream's
Dream
taking
didn't tell you that. Don't be cussing me out tonight.
Dream's taking fishbone tonight.
Yeah, talk about Dream is an idiot, whatever. No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't particularly like this spot. The Knicks are playing really hot right now. Carmelo's finally, really getting involved with the offense too. I think he got 25 in his last outing. We've kind of been waiting for his game to emerge a little bit.
For years.
The Knicks are one of those unorthodox type teams that I don't know it's really easy to, put your finger on exactly what they want to do. So sometimes from a coaching perspective, it could be, I don't really know how we're going to shut down the Knicks. I mean, I'm sure Popovich has an idea, but I don't necessarily know that you can point your finger to one dynamic as to shutting down the Knicks. So that may be an interesting dynamic for the Spurs themselves. The Knicks play a real unorthodox, ugly style of basketball. So I would just be careful in tonight's spot with that particular matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the Knicks lineup is not the worst in the world. You know what I mean? With Porzingis, Lopez,
Pretty
and
bad, I love to talk
Carmelo.
about Porzingis.
Yeah, Porzingis.
Here we go with Porzingis.
Absolutely, man. Hey, he's not bad though. He's not bad.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's
He's
definitely hitting some shots that I don't think he could make when they leave his hand, and boom, they fall. So, hey, it is what it is. I'm looking at a couple of other games here. Obviously, you got OKC coming into the Staples Center tonight at 10:30, and you've got the OKC Thunder giving 14.5 to the Lake Show. Wow. I don't know, man. You know what? That's a big line for them to be given in late. I know the Lakers are terrible and all that, Dream, but I just don't know if I agree with that particular line. It seems like Vegas is definitely what's the word I'm looking for? They're adjusting these spreads higher and higher and higher with these particular teams that are, playing the Lakers or, playing, San Antonio being home or whatever. That's why when I only saw 9 points last night with the Atlanta Hawks, I was all over it, man. Because I thought, you know what I mean? If they had won like the previous couple of games before that, you probably would have saw like 11, 12, something like that. When I saw 9, I was all over it, So taking a look at that. We'll see what goes on. Charlie, do you expect a beatdown in the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the Lake Show?
I think if Russell Westbrook.
I love Hat just did that whole breakdown about it being wrong, and Charlie said, "Yeah."
I mean, the
She's
thing
like,
is,
yes.
the thing that I think makes the Thunder special is they have the two players who run everything.
Yeah.
However, if one of them is maybe not on their game on that particular night, that kind of ruins the whole dynamic. So you have to now expect both of them to perform at 100%, or else we don't know what's going to happen. So, I mean, how much longevity does that couple have?
Sure.
Charlie, I can't. If Hat will tell you that I said something almost exactly the same as you just said 2 days ago when we talked about OKC, exactly to the meter, and why I don't really love this team because these two guys, if it's a bad night or they go through a slump, they look horrible, and I said that exactly like 2 days ago.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, the Lakers, of course, are not a good team at all, so I think that Durant and Westbrook could not play 100% and they could still get a win, but I'm just saying, if we're looking at this team long term, the Thunder, that's something you have to be prepared for, and you have to really, I think, observe closely.
Absolutely.
I gotta say, if you're looking for a team tonight, and not necessarily that you're gonna go out there searching or whatever, but I know some of you, that's what we do. But if you're, and guys, if you with me, I've been quiet. Listen, the college bowls wore me out. Okay. And I just generally don't get involved in that many games, or aside from when it's bowl season. So it was a little bit of falling back for me for this weekend, just resting. Plus, we had this weekend coming up as far as football concerned, and I want to get fully through football, before I get my efforts into other directions. But if you want to look at a game tonight, as far as on the NBA list, with a little bit of a heavier spread, I do think that the Golden State Warriors tonight against the Trailblazers, we've kind of not talked about them in a minute, but I think they really get it in against Portland personally tonight.
9.5.
So. I mean, if I was going to get involved with a heavy number,
yep,
that would be the particular game that I would look at tonight.
That's
But, I don't get involved with those numbers anyway, but I'm just saying, if you're out there looking and you're thinking that you want to do something, I don't know, you might want to look in that direction. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Sounds good.
I think you should wait till the weekend, but hey, that's me.
Yeah, man. I mean, we got, guys, you have hundreds of games going on, between college hoop and NFL and we got the college.
Balance.
Balance. Exactly. Charlie, any more NBA notes before we move on?
Well, I just want to say, speaking of Russell Westbrook, it was Russell Westbrook night last night here in LA at UCLA.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was Russell Westbrook night. Him and Kevin Durant, they were both courtside watching the game against Arizona, and that was a crazy game. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
Oh, no.
No, yeah, it was one of those games neck and neck. It was a free throw contest at the end of the game. You know, one team would get fouled, you know, back and forth.
I now like the Lakers. I now like the Lakers plus the 14 because that's telling me that some partying went on.
Well, I don't know. There's probably
That's
a little
telling
bit
me
of a...
some partying went on. Cats is in bed right now, probably knocked out, tired, was up all night.
Well, especially because UCLA did get that win. It was final seconds. Bryce Alford, the son of Steve Alford, he shot a triple. Final seconds, nailed it. That's it. Bruins go on to win.
Oh, there you go.
KD and Russ took the Bruins out last night on the town.
Yeah, and you know something to mention about this UCLA team is this is their third straight win against a ranked opponent. So
very interesting.
They're on fire right now for sure. And I also, guys, Steve Alford's dad. So Bryce Alford's grandfather was on my flight.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah,
cool deal.
I saw this guy. He was decked out in UCLA gear, and I was like, this dude had like blue and gold shoes on. He had the sweatsuit on. I mean, he looked professional. So I was looking at him, and I was standing by the baggage claim. I was like, "Is it game night?" Because I don't really like follow UCLA specifically. And he's like, "No, it's tomorrow." And then some other guy walks up. He's like, "You know who that is, right?" And I was like, "No, why would I know who that is?" He's like, "Oh, that's Steve Alford's dad." I was like, "No way."
Oh, that's cool.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're moving over to the NHL.
I don't ever get to sit next to those because I take like Southwest. I'm always in the back. Right next to the bathroom.
Excuse me, Dream. I was on Southwest, second to last row, next to last row. I was in the last.
Stop
row.
it! I know you were on that plane at the bar.
No. Southwest, last row, next to a 4-week-old child.
They always got your boy in the back. People climbing over me, tripping over my knees. The stewardess asking me if I could get up and help her get something down. Don't offer me no type of drink that here's a water for you real quick.
Yeah.
We ran out because you're in the back.
Yes.
we gotta run you some water from the bathroom.
Oh, definitely. All right. So moving over to the NHL real quick, there is one game that I'm looking at right now, and I can tell you this much, and I'm very disappointed in this team, how they're performing as of late, and that's the St. Lucia Blues, Dream. They have lost 4 consecutive games, and it doesn't get any easier as they have to go into the Anaheim Ducks tonight. And the Anaheim Ducks are favored in this matchup, but, I'm taking a look at this. When does the bleeding stop for the Blues?
You know what? I don't like road teams, but if there was ever a spot that you might want to take, you guys love a live dog. I know the SBTV Nation loves dogs, which I don't, but if there was a spot maybe to get involved with a live dog, this right here would be it. The Blues, I think offensively, and you guys know I'm a big proponent in hockey. I'm big into passing the puck.
Yes.
And when you pass the puck and when guys are supposed to be where they're supposed to be, it just looks that fluid, and it's a really a work of art sometimes on the ice. It's amazing to me to see how they do it. And I believe that offensively, the Blues are superior to the Ducks.
Absolutely.
I don't like the Ducks defensively. What's the numbers out of Vegas on this one?
Taking a look at it, you got Anaheim is minus 125, and I can tell you that the Blues average over 3 goals a game, and Anaheim is under 2. And
guys, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What do you got?
I think, if you're gonna get involved with the game, and I don't love it, and I'm not telling you to get involved in it, but I'm saying if you are, and you guys that like underdogs, I think this is a nice spot that you do have a live dog here in the Blues. Lost a few games, need to get a win. You have a Duck team that just is not, they have not shown up this season. I don't expect them to show up now. Now, the Blues defensively and power play kills, I know you're going to struggle with that a little bit, and I get that, but I just think at the end of the day, I think the Blues, I think they can go in there and they can get a win. And at plus money, it may be worth a shot to sprinkle a little bit of money on the Blues tonight.
Blues are 1-5 straight up in the last 6 games, man. And Anaheim is actually playing pretty decent, 4-2 in their last 6. So something to take a look at. Obviously, guys, rosters, goalies, injuries, It is 10 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast here, so we got some homework to do before the game starts. It's a 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time start tonight. It's the last game on the ticket. Any other pucks that you're looking at?
Blackhawks.
The Chicago Black. Oh, of course you are, man. You know what? Why did I even ask? Chicago Blackhawks got the Buffalo Sabres coming into town, and they are definitely giving quite a bit of juice here. 230. So maybe that's something that you put those two together with, Dream.
It's a somewhat of a nice idea, but I wouldn't want to see it. I think you're already in a great situation if you are thinking about getting down with the Blues. I think you're in a great situation right there, as they are an underdog. So why even have the stomachache of mixing another game with it? Which the Blackhawks could lose, obviously. Long hockey season. Sometimes these guys don't come to play, but not saying that they will. In this situation, I would probably not pair them together.
Okay.
Just go ahead and take the Blues. But like I said, guys, it's just an idea. One thing I want to mention, because I think we're done with hockey. Deshaun Jackson has been commented in saying that I'm a firm believer that bad karma comes back to you when you ruin a team like that. You do things to people's families, you release people, you trade people, you get rid of good players who build something with the community, with the fans, with the kids. To have a guy come in and change up the team like that, I just believe in karma. And those are references to Chip Kelly. So we all know that Shawnee, there's no love lost obviously between them two, but that karma thing, Hat and I are big proponents of that as well. And I try to live my life kind of with a little bit of that always in the back of my mind when I do things, and how I interact with people on an everyday basis, and just how I live my life in general, because I happen to be a big proponent and belief in that as well.
All right. Sounds good.
Not saying that that's the situation there, but maybe.
Yep, got it. All right, guys, so we went a little bit over today, but there was a lot to talk about. And Charly, we're happy to have you back. We missed you.
Oh, thank you guys. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Struggle without you two.
Yeah, definitely. So, hey, let's do our closeouts and get out of here, guys. Very busy days, I'm sure, for all three of us, and let's go from there. So, Charly, what do you got to say to close out of here?
I'm just excited for a action-packed weekend of some football. I know I'm going to be glued to my TV, and I'm going to be watching all four of those games closely. If anybody has any questions, comments over the course of these next few days, hit me up on Twitter. My handle is @Charly Arnold. You can find that on the SBTV Nation Twitter if you don't know how to spell my first or last name. But guys, great show. Good talking with you as always. And now that it's 7 a.m. here on the West Coast, I'm going to continue on with my day, and I'm going to try to find something to do since it's 7 a.m.
Rodeo Drive, Beverly Hills.
I don't think the stores are open for a few more hours, though.
Oh, they're open. Trust. Stores is open. Believe me, stores are open. Stars buy stuff at the most incredible times. So trust me, I'm sure you're going to.
Yeah, but I don't have like somebody calling on my behalf to be like, hey, Charly Arnold wants to shop. I mean, this is just me over here. Yeah. I'm my own entourage.
I hear you. Hey, guys, I want to thank, we had an incredible array of guests this week, and I want to thank everybody that came on. I mean, Charly brought to us, Bill Moss. We also had Derek McKenzie. Pamela came in and did an incredible job as far as that was concerned. The Hockey Immortal graced us with his presence. This was a really great week as far as guests are concerned.
Our local Indianapolis guy, Chris Burton, remember, with Kilroy's?
That's definitely right. Oh, that's right. I forgot about him too. No doubt, definitely. Right. Great week of guests and great shows as far as I'm concerned. I want to thank all those people that came on, and we'll definitely send something out on the tweet thanking everybody once again for their contributions. And I want to thank all of you for your contributions, retweeting the show, and giving us that continued support, gang. We got Frank Vinculato, Terrence Mack, BT, Strawman 86, James M. Thompson, Holiday J. Cass, Prestige Worldwide, Joseph Del Rosario, KMVU, VZ, Sirach King J, Vegas Jack, Yippa 82, Winning Picks, Andrew Taylor, Jonesy's out there, Benjamin Rowe, MC Money, Jeff Ryan, INT, Christos, My Boy Urban, Total Sports Edge, G Rhodes, OJFB, JC, Angelo Nunez, Kruk, Terry Bouchard, Direct Sports Solution, Tommy King, Super Mario, To the Bank, Soupy Bets, Mario Martinez, Average Joe Punter, Papa Smurf, the MOB, and so many more. My boy B Mac and Bob out in Tennessee, my boy JG and D Altuna over at NYI. Got to thank everybody for always their continued support. Guys, great weekend coming up. You know, we're going to be in tomorrow. Dr. Dizzle will be in the house. Get on there and listen. We're going to have some predictions about these games. I'm probably going to go ham on some of my points that I am working on for you guys. And we have a special guest. Special show coming up on Monday for the national title game. So, hey, we just keep doing it as big as we know how. Keep giving you the best that we know how to do. So stay tuned, keep listening, and check us out. As always, I am the dream. Always remember who you with. Make the most of each and every day because you cannot get this time back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big ups to my man, Matty Fresh, for giving me that information on the playoffs for the last 20 years. We very much appreciate that here at the SBTVNation.com. Guys, we love you to death. Go out there, go easy, make all your dreams a damn reality, and get that money. Take care.